have a long-standing relationship with IHA, which is very exciting. So that will be a little bit of a story, just who we are, and then how we are engaging with IHA. So now I just need to need my slides to move, and which just doesn't do. I'll try again. Sorry about this. All right. Here we are. So of course, first we need to acknowledge, that we are working on the grounds of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, and which means that we are working towards co-governance in our board, and also any endeavors in introducing waste minimization needs to involve Maori and the knowledge that we already have in our country that contributes, to circular thinking. We also would like to acknowledge our mothership, which is Repair Cafe International, that is based in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and Martine Postma, the originator of the Repair Cafe. She held her first Repair Cafe in October 29, and now it's an international movement. And Aotearoa joined with the Auckland Waste Minimisation Innovation Fund between 2017 and 19 as Auckland Repair Cafe, which had about 18 repair cafes starting. Now, the underlying principles of repair cafes are really about, of course, the obvious waste minimization, but also saving money, education, and respecting Mother Earth and our finite resources, sharing resources, sharing skills, sharing expertise, keeping repair as a culture alive within each country. And this applies, of course, for Aotearoa as well. And what I need to say is that the repair cafes are grassroots based, and they are also working with volunteers. So communities come together to assist each other to fix broken household items. So this also strengthens community resilience, because people come together, work together, get to know each other, and support each other. And one other important aspect is also that repair cafes were set up in the context of the right to repair movement, which is bringing legislation also now finally to Aotearoa, hopefully, very soon, that actually allows the consumer and also the product designer to adhere to product design that is durable, repairable, and that consumers are informed how they can repair their belongings and look after them. Now, our mission is to create a repair culture back in Aotearoa. So most of you have maybe visited a repair cafe or running a repair cafe yourself. So it's really about bringing different generations together, the older generation who mostly holds still the knowledge of repair, and then passing this on to younger people. You can introduce mentoring and so forth, also bringing skills from different cultures into repair cafes. So in fact, each repair cafe is slightly different depending on the skills and expertise that is within this rōpū. We also encourage businesses to participate in repair cafes and connect with the community, share their skills, also invite people to visit their businesses and so forth. And we are closely collaborating with government agencies, councils to support local repair cafes. Now, some of you have seen this slide, but I still like to show it because it just gives you the overview of the ecosystem that we have established. Because we started in 2020, so this was the time of COVID, and which really didn't allow so much for in-person activities, but it gave us time to build networks. And in hindsight, this was actually really, really beneficial to us, and is now our main foundation for this network. As we already mentioned, Environment Hubs Aotearoa are definitely part of it, and Georgina kindly offered us to take part in your map, and where all the repair cafes are listed, and Jen manages this for us. So we've got now about 50 plus repair cafes running in Aotearoa, and there are many, many in the making. So we are a national organization to support and streamline resources and just get people to connect with each other, like in this call, for example. Currently, we are still a member of the Zero Waste Network, as well as umbrellaed by the organization as well. However, there are attempts to become our own legal entity, which will be wonderful. We also have a close connection to Parakore, who we have a partnership agreement with, and the plan is to introduce Repair Cafe to Maori organization in Marae. Resource sharing is really one fundamental pillar of Repair Cafes as well. So we collaborate with Mainsheet, excuse me, and tool libraries, time banks, and also maker spaces. Repair education is another important pillar, and we are introducing repair education into tertiary education because it is important to have skilled repairers available if we're going circular, and also into schools. Community recycling centers. I'm here based in Tamaki Makaurau, so we have done 2 case studies and 1 at Beautification Trust, and you will hear about it a bit later. And this is an ongoing process where we are introducing repair into the existing establishment, and hopefully also create some paid repair jobs as well. As I mentioned, we are keen to collaborate with repair businesses and also hold like team building days where we can promote repair to any team. With regards to the right to repair, we are connected internationally, also with Consumer New Zealand, Parakore, Waste Mints, and Zero Waste Network. We are closely working together with councils, local councils, who can support the local repair cafes, as well as MFE, with regards to the implementation plan of the new waste strategy. Yeah, so now I looked at your mission and I thought there are a lot of parallels, and so I can see how repair cafes fit so beautifully into your kaupapa as well. Empowering communities. Through a collaborative approach, our mahi empowers community organizations to increase social cohesion, community resilience, and environmental stewardship. And I totally took with this, and it's a beautiful alignment. Now, Anna gave me a few points that she would like me to talk about, so that's what I'll be trying to do now. The most exciting thing, what we did this year, or one of the exciting things, is that we actually produced a handbook on how to set up a repair cafe in Aotearoa. So this is based on the experience of numerous repair cafe coordinators. And we've put this together so people can start it. We are asking a donation of $25 on the Give a Little page, and just to support our organization, which is currently not funded. So I just need to kind of stop sharing here, because I'd like to ask you if anyone has had a look at this handbook or any of the resources. No. Who has not had a look at it? Oh, Ikametas? Yes, okay.
I personally haven't. But I know Emily and my team has. Yeah.
Great. This is cool. All right. Oh, hey, Joe. You have had a glimpse at it as well. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
really
so we've read it and passed it on to groups. Yeah.
Fantastic. That is great. Wonderful. So what I'm trying to do now is, I guess I'm trying to share this with you. Oops. Here we are. So this is the cover, This is an image of Fielding Repair Cafe, really super cool. And this is what the book covers. Basically, the history, how Repair Cafe came about, and what I just shared a little bit with you, how they came to Aotearoa, and also how, in steps, how to set up your Repair Cafe. A real detailed plan from week to week, month to month, and also the different stages, locations, and but most of you, of course, have your location already, and the funds possibly available as well. The different stations and what you could expect there. Although just to mention that we are not expecting for you to offer everything of repair at every event. It's quite nice to stage this, in fact. We also quite like a children's tinkering corner, which is quite fun. So for children to learn more a little bit about how products are designed. So it's a highly educational component as well. Then we collect information. So this is quite interesting for you to see. And we are working with the Restarters, which is a UK-based digital platform on how to collect repair data. So I have actually the Restarters open, so I need to go back to my little screen and just get this for you now. So Repair Cafe Aotearoa works together with the Restarters, and we actually set this up specifically for Aotearoa. So you can see Aotearoa. So currently we have 25 groups listed here, which is really cool. I'm going to go and the Nelson one, which is supported by the Nelson Climate Forum, Nelson Tasman Climate Forum. So here you can see that they have 18 events with 300 participants, volunteer hours 625, and you can also see the amount of waste prevented and CO2 emissions prevented. And this is more detailed here. How many powered items were presented, fixed, repairable, end of life. And so this is quite a cool little thing to be doing. If they had another event, do they have another? Ah, yes, right. They do have an event coming up.
Brigitte, can I just ask, with that data, I presume they collect that at like Nelson would have collected that, and then do they send that to you and then you?
No, this is available. This is available on the website.
Right.
So this is a website, and this is a group specifically for Aotearoa, New Zealand. Yeah, and you can list your group on this website.
Right, so they would have listed it themselves as opposed to have gone through you.
No, we have support to help you set this up. Yeah, for sure. Yes. So here you can see, how to enter that. So they've got powered items and unpowered items. So if I enter an item, so what is the item? Say it's a kettle. So electric kettle, right? The brand, Rebel, right? Model, don't know, age, maybe 2 years old. And so I can put in a description of the problem. So maybe I would say that what could be wrong? Like the little, what's it called? A little tab to stop boiling is dysfunctional, which means it doesn't turn off, right? So I actually had this recently myself happening. And so then the repairer will write a note saying what needed to be done. And you can also add a photo if you like, and then you can add this item. I will cancel it at this point. The same goes with unpowered items. And so with unpowered items, we also ask to enter the weight, because with the powered items, the weight is actually collated at the back of the the page. And because there was some research undergone some time ago with unpowered items, we do not have that in place at this time. So we have either a kitchen scale or a travel scale, and it's quite nice because you can get involved, your Repair Cafe visitors, to become curious about their item, and this is a nice step for them to learn more about it. Yeah, so Anna, this is right. We actually support Repair Cafes actively in with setting up their repair data. So I'm just going to go here again. So with regards to the Repair Cafe coordinator, this has been done voluntary and so far. However, Repair Cafe Aotearoa New Zealand and also an Australian repair businesses rewrote an article last year and put this forward to the international group to suggest that Repair Cafe coordinators actually be remunerated, because we do think this is a very valuable and important job. And also, if we're serious about circular economy, then we need to create jobs that attend to repair. So we also have a volunteer register, and this is quite nice. You know, when you are starting off with your Repair Cafe, you can look at this register and send it out on social media if you like. And here are all the questions that would be relevant for a Repair Cafe. Because Repair Cafes, of course, don't only run by actual repairers, people with repair skills, but also you need coordinators and people who look after the food, because there's the cafe aspect, also the triage system, the data collection. Yeah, there's lots of different wonderful jobs you could do. And so when we have this, when we receive a volunteer form, we will then contact the relevant Repair Cafe and suggest, you know, for the volunteer and the Repair Cafe to get together and start a relationship and work together. Yes. So talked about this. We've got lots of resources available. Yes. And also we are introducing Te Reo Māori into Repair Cafes. So we are using the Makupu Māori at the repair stations and also in our general conversations as well. And here we've got a brochure as well. Now, as you know, we are all listed here on the IHA map, and this is ongoing, developing ongoing. And thank you very much to Jen and Georgina to managing this for us. Here with regards to Repair Cafes at IHA hubs, we already got 4 involved here. And I guess, you know, we are working together, you know, towards the implementation of the waste strategy, and which recognizes now repair as part of reuse, which is really fantastic. And I guess my point is that we have Repair Cafes that are grassroots and community building. We also connect with businesses, and we are interested in education. So furthering repair in education, having skilled repairers and paid repairers is going to be an important step in this development. I wanted to just let you know that we are celebrating in our 3rd year the International Repair Day, which is on the 21st of October. Internationally. So we are joining with a summit between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. in the morning, and which we are inviting you to present if you wish, and you can put forward an expression of interest. So that would be very interesting. And we are also probably streamlining some Repair Cafes that are running on that day. So really, I guess, you know, the mission and the vision is, you know, that repair can contribute, you know, to, climate shift and systems change. And if we approach it, you know, from the grassroots to the businesses to government, and all collaborate together, this is the only way forward. So I'll stop sharing my slides and I'm open to questions. Kia ora.
Thank you, Brigitte. Anyone, no questions for now?
Kia ora. Just wondering if I can ask about the cost of joining restarters and using that.
This is free. We are providing
okay.
this. Yeah. Well, we are, once we are a trust, we probably will ask for, will establish a membership system and we'll ask for some financial contributions. At the moment, everything is free and we're also working for free. So, you know, we need to become more sustainable. And we hope that the community that we have built will support us in doing that.
Kia ora everyone, kia ora Brigitte. Sorry, my video is not working, but my name's Jo and I'm part of Tairāwhiti Environment Centre and we're wanting to set up our first repair cafe. I'm just curious about that data collection. Do you usually have somebody that is doing that, you know, that's their role during the cafe, is to sit on the sit with some kind of technology and input that data as the repairs are happening?
Yeah, that's the preferred way, Jo. And we're excited to hear about your Tairāwhiti repair cafe. Yes, so we do have a paper form that you can use, and that uses entry criteria for the restarters data collection. But the preferred way is that you actually do it during the day, you know, with your electronic device. Okay. And we offer training for this. Yeah, so yeah, when you decide, you know, that you would like to start a repair cafe, then just get in touch with us and we can provide you with lots of more resources as well as the training. And Julie from Nelson, you know, specializes on the data side of repair cafes.
Okay. And I just had one other question, is that our idea is to work with our council to support us in establishing a series of repair cafes. I'm curious if anybody else is able to share some of the models of partnership that they have with councils, or, you know, some of the proposals that they have put towards their council about rolling repair cafes and what are the, you know, the benefits and the costs associated with that, just to make it a little bit easier for us to set up a proposal, I suppose.
We usually write an endorsement letter, you know, from the national organization, and I am happy to ask someone who has written one and ask them if they're happy to share that with you.
That'd be great. Thank you.
No worries. If there are no questions, can I just ask him, and who's running a repair cafe or who has been to a repair cafe? How about that question? Okay, right, that is quite a few. And who is running one in your organization? Let's 4, 5. Okay, yeah, fantastic. That's really cool. So maybe you can also just briefly share your experience or any questions that came up, you know, during the time that you have been operating a repair cafe. Might be quite useful.
We found the Restarter website is really easy to use. We started with paper in our very first one. By the time we had our third one, we'd moved on to Restart. It's pretty straightforward to use. Recommend it.
Thanks. That's awesome. Thanks so much, Denise.
Cool. Okay, well, we can actually hear from some of our hubs about your process and how that all went out, and maybe things that challenges you face along the way. So we'll start with Mads. So Mads, I'll get your presentation up and I'll let you talk to it.
Cool. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Brigitte. It was great to hear from you. And I definitely learned some things, and we'll be trying to use those to improve what we're doing here in Palmy. So talking to our team about especially the restarted stuff. We've just been doing a work on our data collection and making sure it's as tidy as possible. So great to see that that's available. And in answer to your question, Joe, around working with councils or partnering with councils around this, that was going to be my first point, or one of my points in this in our presentation. So the way that we started our Repair Cafe was basically community-led in terms of we heard from several individuals, and these weren't necessarily people that were already engaged with our membership. So there were some members that came to us and said, oh, why haven't we got a Repair Cafe? And there were also some individuals that said, we need a Repair Cafe in Palmerston North. Where's the Repair Cafe? And so we were kind of hearing these scatterings of interest and kind of collecting the people's names. And we invited, after a couple of months of this, we thought, oh, we better get these people in the room. So we invited everybody to a Zoom meeting. I think at the time, I think a few people may have came in person. And we invited Brigitte as well. I'd met you at the IHA Hui, I think, and sort of said, like, what does it look like? What do you all need? What can you offer? And how much energy have we got to make this happen as a group? And if we can get funding for this, would you like us to help hold this space? And so the resounding answer from that group was yes. I think that we had maybe 10 or 12 people come to that meeting, and from varying organisations. So they were all really keen to be involved, but not one of them had the capacity to really drive the whole space. And so we kind of took on the driving role, in that we sort of took that information, took what they wanted to do, what we could probably achieve, and pulled that together into a funding application that was specific to the waste levy. So our local council has what they call the Resource Recovery Fund, but essentially it's waste levy funding, and that was open at the time. And we said, look, we would like to run a Repair Cafe pilot. We don't know if this is going to go anywhere or how it will be received by the public, but if you can give us $10,000, we'll run a pilot, and we'll put some time capacity into coordinating this and making sure that everything that's needed is established. And so our coordinator, Anna, I have no idea what's on the next page. You can turn the page. Sorry.
Right.
This is a boring page. There we go. This is telling you the stuff. So our coordinator did the kind of what I would say the boring stuff. Like, so the group gets together, the coordinating committee gets together and sort of says, we want to do this, we want to do that. Somebody needs to talk to the businesses, somebody needs to find a venue, somebody needs to, so our coordinator did all of that sort of, the logistics work. And then and we also sent stuff out to our network. We said, who wants to be involved beyond our core coordinating committee? So we found the additional volunteers and the people on the ground who really wanted to sort of fix stuff. We've got this amazing guy who comes, he's a plastic repairer. He's an old, a retired man who lives in a retirement village, and he doesn't have a business or anything anymore, but he still really loves to fix stuff, and he's got his little kit of tools, and he comes, one of our volunteers actually picks him up and brings him to the Repair Cafe, and it's the highlight of his month is coming to Repair Cafe and repairing little plastic things. So we've got these really gorgeous connections that are happening. So while it's really important to have the stuff getting actually repaired, what we're finding is that it's a real social cohesion event. There's lots of great feelings that are happening. And so we've the three kind of main organizations, we hold the funding for it and we hold the coordination. We basically can commit about 4 hours a week to it. So it's just part of one of our other roles. And then Super Grands Manawatu and Men's Shed are both really active in the coordinating committee and provide really specific volunteers. And they don't want to deal with all of the details of the logistics, but they're really keen to turn up with their sewing machines and their tools and fix stuff, and they love it. What's the next slide say?
Nice photos.
Yeah, nice photos. So we had some things fixed. We've had monthly events. So we completed our first pilot. I think we promised 4 events, and we made 6, like the committee just wanted to keep going. So we've basically been monthly since the start, and we kind of had the chance to kind of iron out issues and figure out stuff, and now it's running quite smoothly. And then we applied again to the Resource Recovery Fund and received another year's worth of funding. So that's been our main funding source for this particular project. And that is off the back of us having quite a close, strong relationship with our City Council anyway. So they do like the work that we do. We have a a close a partnership funding situation with them for our general coordination. So that kind of trust in us as an organisation really helped, I think, with our application. So we have about 20 to 25 people in each event with a really wide range of volunteers. And like Briggy just said, we don't offer all of the stations at every event. So it will depend if the electrician can't come that month, we won't do that. We started, we've had bike repairs, but not every time. That's been lots of people coming and great energy. The other thing that the coordinator needs to have time for is actually the community interest, because we've got a Facebook page or a social media accounts, and it's probably one of our biggest community engagement spaces is the Repair Cafe. We've got tons of people will message us the week before Repair Cafe that says, can I bring, I don't know, my something or other? Can I bring this? Can I bring that? What time is it? Like just all these kind of standard questions, but it all takes time to answer all of those questions and to respond to people. And then the other thing that our coordinator will do is if something wasn't quite fixed on the day, or one of the volunteers wanted to take it away and finish it at their workshop or something, they will do that. And then to keep them safe and their own personal space safe and private, they'll deliver that back to our office, or we'll pick it up, and then the public come and collect it from our office. So there's a bit of coordination needed there. What else did I want to say? Hold space. So our main role is really holding space for the committee to do their thing, so they don't have to worry about the kind of boring day-to-day stuff. I think I've covered everything I wanted to say. Continued logistics. Yep, all of that stuff that's on the slide.
Yep.
Any questions?
Hi, sorry, I didn't actually introduce myself last time. I'm Shannon. I'm from the Topo District Council. So Kitty invited me today as we're going to hopefully be planning our first Repair Cafe maybe early next year. So one of my concerns, I guess, is with volunteers. Do you have any local businesses that share frustration about the fact that you're maybe taking away part of what they do, like bike repairing or tailoring or stuff like that? And also, are any of your volunteers people that's their current full-time job, or are you finding it's mostly retired people who do it as a hobby, stuff like that?
Yeah, most of our volunteers are retired people. They're not coming and doing their day job for fun on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But and in answer to your other question around are people, are businesses angry? No, because we are, we have actually made relationships with them as part of that initial pilot. So we've kind of gone to the local repair businesses and said, look, we're doing this. Can we take your cards? Can we encourage people to go to you if the repair is sometimes people bring the repair and they're more of a what would be for it, like a technical repair or something that needs a professional to sit down and really, it might take too long, or might need too many specialized tools. And so then our repairers will be like, this is actually, too much for a repair cafe, but here's a business that you can go to. So that's how we deal with it. I think that's standard. Bricky, do you have something to say to that?
Yeah, kia ora. Well, thank you, and great question. Yes, I mean, repair cafes are all about collaboration and creating a repair culture. So everyone is welcome, which means that we're working with volunteers. And as mentioned, repair cafes mainly run on a weekend. So this is special time. Repair businesses are welcome to attend, and they can leave their business cards and so forth and promote themselves as well. We have not experienced any conflicts. In fact, we do not do alterations, and we also don't fix whiteware or microwaves, for safety reasons. So it's very specific to small household items. Also, for example, where I live, there are also bike hubs. And so they appreciate the opportunity to come and be with us and share with us. And we can also do some advertising for them. And if they want to be independent, then we can refer people to them. So it's all about collaboration and conversation. So with regards to council, I just also like to mention that several councils have started repair cafes in their community, and it's really about community empowerment. So if a council starts, that's fantastic, like Nelson did, for example, and also Stratford, and then hand it over to the community. So continue the funding, but make it actually community owned. That's, I guess, an important aspect to mention as well. Kia ora.
We'll go to Joe next.
Oh, kia ora. I just wanted to respond to that because we've explicitly got a way of framing it so that perceived problem isn't actually a problem, and that is that both for the bike hub and the repair cafe is that's about showing people how to do it and skill building, rather than taking business away from anybody else. So it's a skills workshop rather than a repair service, so to speak.
Thank you, Joe. Indeed.
Yeah, thanks.
And Anton, do you have a question or comment you wanted to make?
Yeah, no, I was just going to add to that. So repair is core to the services that we provide our community. And when the Repair Cafe started in Nelson, it was my paid team members that went along to those cafes and were servicing electronics. From our point of view, we see it as absolutely no threat, and happy to support that with any other centre. We see it as an education tool. It's brilliant. It's about bringing the community together, and the customers or the community members that attend repair cafes usually aren't seeking alternatives to repair those items at the commercial level. And we think it's a great program that is about behaviour change. So yeah, well done, Brigitte. Really, really proud to support it.
Yeah, and I think there's lots of repairs that come in, answering to that question, to what you said, Anton, there's lots of repairs that come in that wouldn't be commercially viable at all to bother with, like the Buzzy Bee that needed a wheel, stitched back together with a bit of plastic glue or something. Like, who's going to do that? The door that fell off the doll's house, and they're not, and it just needs a tiny little bit of random, like handmade, made up, re-engineered something to put a new hinge on it that's never going to be, found somewhere else. And it's really about sentimental. There's a lot of sentimental items that might come in that then they have another whole life ahead of them. A doll's house can go another whole round of another whole generation of children because it's got a new hinge on it. So yeah, there's a question back from Taupo. Kitty?
Sorry, full of questions. Thank you, though. That was very helpful. This could be for Mads, or it could be for everyone that's run a repair cafe already. How does it work in terms of supplying maybe necessary parts, or like, what do you ask your volunteers to bring, and how much of that stuff do you cover the cost of, or are you expecting them to maybe bring their own needles and threads or like spare parts that might be required for the common fix?
Good question. We have, as I said, we've been funded so we can reimburse like costs if needed or if asked. Supergrands is one of our members, so they have one of the people that would be doing the threads and stuff, and Men Shed bring wood and nails and screws and what, or not wood maybe, but their tools and kind of the hardware. But we try to reimburse them And through that funding, we did kind of allocate a specific amount to both those organisations to help support them to be there. And then additionally, yeah, we're encouraging the volunteers to sort of, you know, get an account. We get an account at Mitre 10 or whatever, so they can go get what they need. Yep.
And then is it just a case, like you said before, where if it's beyond the means of what people have got on hand, you just say, sorry, we don't have it here. That might be, you need to go to the cobbler or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, the repairers just really love repairing stuff, so they do their very best. But yeah, well, they may go away and get something. But yes, that's pretty much it, I think. Brigitte, you've got a comment to that though.
Kia ora. Yeah, I mean, really the kaupapa of Repair Cafés is that the volunteers do their best, you know, to assess and also advise or repair if possible, you know, on the day. And there is no obligation, you know, to fix anything if they don't wish to do so. So we also need to respect the repairers, you know, in their rights in this respect as well. And the other issue about resourcing Repair Cafés, like for example, you can actually have collection boxes of spare parts, so which you can collaborate with other organizations together. Like this could happen as a CRC, for example, you know. So it's all about coming together and sharing resources. Often we also don't mend zips, because unless you bring your own zip with you and you have, you know, unpicked your zip, you know, so it's easy to do. But otherwise, you know, you can say on average, a repairer spends about 20 minutes per repair, assessment and repair. So in order to, you know, make this, you know, lovely interaction available to everyone. So yeah, I think it's all about collaboration. That's what I would really like to stress, and we can share resources, and it's ever evolving, you know, and also depends on the interest and what's being brought, because every day, every Repair Cafe is a total surprise.
And it's like, and there's donations coming, random donations come in as well. Like we have got a book repairer that comes, and then we're in Palmerston, also Massey Library had a whole stash of fancy as book cover material that they used to cover the theses. And for some reason, so we knew somebody knew what we were doing. They worked at the library. They found this old stash of thesis covering book materials, which was really expensive, and they donated it to us for the Repair Cafe. So we've got like a never-ending supply now of book cover material.
That's awesome.
Cool. If we want, we've probably got about 5 minutes. If Sterling, if you want to talk a little bit about beautification trusts, Repair Cafés, and then we can jump in with some more questions.
Yeah, sure. I'll just share. I'm hoping that this presentation can come out. Can you guys see, like? Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, we've hosted 2 Repair Cafés now at Beautification Trust. I was just going to chat a little bit about integrating some of our other services with Repair Cafés, and then a little bit about like our top learnings from running our first 2 cafes as well. So in terms of like setting up our Repair Cafe, we're really lucky that we have a lot of staff help to support it that is paid. Yeah, I think it's very, very difficult to do it with people who are not getting financially compensated, because there is a lot of like time, energy and effort that goes into making a Repair Cafe. Beyond just the coordinator, we also had marketing support from our marketing and comms team. They made all of our like online collateral up as well, posters, so that we could start advertising it out to the communities, the Facebook post, the newspaper post, like all of that kind of stuff. It just took a lot of time and energy. But then because we had so much investment, we had really good turnout on our first 2 Repair Cafes as well. So there is a little bit of a trade-off there. We've also integrated it with a couple of the other contracts that we run, so that we can have dedicated staff who turn up to the Repair Cafes, and it's not just entirely volunteers. Like somebody else said, we've found that our community will come along to weekend events, but that is the day that we really struggle to staff with, since a lot of our contracts are Monday to Friday. And so trying to find a little bit of time to actually, you know, like have staff come along and trade off days and everything for that weekend was difficult, especially because we've got other programs that are also running on the weekends as well. So as a team, we really had to be mindful of people's times as well. I think one of the things that made the Repair Cafe so easy for us to run here, though, is that we had a lot of facilities that, like in our depot, it's really understated. Like we've got parking, we've got a lot of space. We have a venue called the Creator Space, which is available for hire, and it's set up to be a place where people can come and just spend time. We've got a lot of kitchen facilities as well. So we had volunteers in the kitchens making kai for everybody. We had lots of volunteers kind of just running around on the days as well. You know, like helping to sign people in when they get here and let people know what was going on and whether they were supposed to sit and wait and all that kind of different stuff. We have quite a good network of regulars as well. So our repairers were partially from our on-site boomer program, which is kind of like our men's shed. But we also had a lot of people giving us contacts and friends and all of that kind of stuff of people who could come and repair certain things as well. So we were really lucky to have a network of pre-existing repairers already. Our coordinator was just like, you can't, you have to put a lot of effort into retaining your people, especially volunteers. Because once they come back once and twice, then they'll be way more likely to come back again and again if they have a good experience. So that was really important for us as well. And yeah, well, when people turned up to our second Repair Cafe, we had a whole bunch of staff support, and we had somebody doing some food scraps collection service engagement, and we had somebody else talking about pest trapping and education that side as well. And we had other people talking about waste minimization. So we have an on-site CRC that people could dip into when they're waiting for their things to be repaired and have a look around the op shop and then come back and, you know, like see if their thing has been done yet or, you know, whatever. On the screen, you might see like that fixed token. So everybody got like a bottle cap with a number on it. That was how we were assigning people. So the electricians would have a little collection of things, and you knew that it was your time when your number was getting caught out or whatever like that. And you can go back, and there was a bit of a system in place so that you weren't just standing in a line the whole time. You could go around and do other things and then come back later on. And like I mentioned, we got everybody to fill out a form so that they would have their item, and then we would have the contact details as well. So if they couldn't get it repaired right there and then we can call them up afterwards and just be like, hey, we've had somebody who's fixed your table or chair or whatever it was. Some of them took a really long time to fix, like hours and hours, and our repairers were so good to kind of go back and actually spend that time with them, trying to fix their items. And they were able to come back later on during the week and pick up their things later, and that was really cool as well. Yeah, so heaps and heaps of integrating the Repair Cafe to fit alongside our other services. The best place to actually promote it out was in our community recycling centre. So we had posters, and when people would come in to donate their recycling, they'd be like, when's the next Repair Cafe? And we'd just be like, you know, take a photo of that. Oh my God, my computer's about to die.
Well, I think it died.
That's
Well,
a bit disappointing, but I think perhaps her computer knew that we were coming to an end. It's a bit of a shame that we didn't get to see the rest of Sterling's slides. Maybe we could get them, Anna, and send them around.
Yeah.
In case there's anything there, those last nuggets of gold that Sterling was just about to get to. Shall I, just because I opened, I'll do a bit of a closing, but shall I check if there are any last questions or how people can ask questions outside of this call if some questions still haven't been asked, etc. How are we going to do that, Anna? Send them through to you, perhaps?
I mean, one thing I was going to ask was how EHA can support this, and whether you wanted to have kind of like a repair cafe group where we just have, you know, a list of contacts that you're happy to either be the ones sharing or that you might want to ask questions. So perhaps what I'll do is I'll send around an email after this call just with those links and resources that have been shared, and then with an option to reply saying, yes, I'd like to join this repair cafe group, and we can kind of check in, you know, every couple of months, or just have those kind of your contacts there so people can access them. And Brigitte, maybe yours as well, if that was something you'd be open to. Cool. Oh, here we go, she's back.
Okay, any burning last questions while Brigitte is with us? Otherwise, feel free to send those through. Yeah, thanks for your email address there, Brigitte.
Sorry, guys.
Welcome back, Sterling. We thought we would just wrap up, and we might, if it's okay with you, perhaps get your slides and send them round.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Sorry, my computer died like classic, eh?
We decided that your computer was trying to tell us that the hour was coming to an end, and that was just the universe saying, all right, that'll do. So yeah, but thank you so much, Sterling and Mads and Brigitte, for joining us, and everyone who's contributed. Thanks for all the questions, because I think that's exactly what this is about, is you asking those questions and us kind of sharing that knowledge within our community. Look forward to hearing from you if you take something from this and start up repair cafes, even if they're the pop-ups, to see how that's going. Be really great to hear if anything comes from your inspiration today. Pop anything in the chat if you have your last questions, or grab that email address from Brigitte before the chat disappears, and I will just do a closing karakia to close us out. As we started, feel free to put yourself on mute and join in to get that practice of doing our karakia whakamutanga. Ka whakairia te tapu, ka wā te ai te ara, kia turuki whakataha ai, kia turuki whakataha ai, huia tai kia. So go well. Thank you for being with us today, and enjoy the rest of your Monday and your week. Ka kite anō.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See ya.